In this video, I'm going to talk about MyStatLab and getting information from the modules. So before we get to MyStatLab, I'm going to go ahead and then select modules on the left side here. Okay, and so you would see this entry in the introduction. You have your landing page, you have a getting started, and then here where it says course information. Now under course information, it's just like a library of information in here. So you have the guided notebook. So if I select guided notebook, you're going to see chapters 1 all the way to chapters 13 that we're going to use for this class. So these are also going to be in each week introduction, but in case you want to find it here, you can. Now I'm going to go back to modules, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to where it says week 1. So week 1, you're going to see underneath week 1, you have introduction to statistics. You have orientation assignment, introduce yourself, and then you have these videos here, okay? And then also some other information that I'll go over. So I'm going to go ahead and select introduction to statistics. Now, when you click on that, this is basically sort of your intro to each particular week. So it talks about what we're covering for this week, and then you have week 1 outline. And so number 1, it says make sure to complete both of the following assignments, the orientation assignment and introducing yourself. And then here it says download and print guided notebook chapter 1 and also chapter 2. So it's also, as I stated, in the modules under course information, but I'm also going to put it in the introduction. Okay, and then it says additionally you can print the pointers below as a reference as you make your way through the interactive reading assignments. And they may make some of the concepts easier to understand, and you can supplement them with your own notes as you go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and download chapter 1 data collection. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Okay. And so here you can see Chapter 1 data collection. So you want to print this out for your records, or if you have a tablet and you want to write on it and save it. But this is really good for you to use as you're going through the interactive assignments. So you're going from sections 1.1 to 1.6. Now if you scroll down here at the beginning, it gives you section 1.1, Introduction to the Practice of Statistics, and it goes through objectives 1 through 5. Okay, and then right here where it says Objective 1, page 1, you're going to click on the video and then answer the following as you watch the video. So I'm going to come back to this so you can see how you're going to use the guided notebook with your assignments. Now, going back to the introduction, you also have these pointers for each section. So I made these pointers for you so that you can download them and then have them available to you. So if you click on the magnifying glass, it says preview the document, okay? So you can print this out, but basically what I write in here is definitions and all the things that you're going to see within that section, okay? So it's useful to have this as you're going along through each section. So it has definitions, so you can have them next to you. So again, I put those in there for you to be able to have them handy, okay? And then, instead number 4, it says locate assignments on MyStatLab. Make your way through the interactive reading assignments for these sections, and you must score 70% or higher in order to have access to the homework assignments for each section. So what it's saying here is that you have to complete the following assignments. 1.1 interactive, and then section 1.1 homework. Okay? So now, let's go back up to MyLab and Mastering. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now at this point you've already registered for MyStatLab, and so this is how you're going to access MyStatLab when you want to get your homework assignments completed for the course. So I'm going to go ahead and open MyLab and Mastering. And so what I'm going to look for here now is what you can see here. It says Preface to the Student. Now this is a 20-minute video where the author of this textbook talks about how you access the course using MyStatLab. So this is something that you want to access and then follow along. Okay, and then you have your course homepage, and your course homepage basically gives you the calendar of information, what are assignments that are past due, what are your current assignments, and what are your completed assignments. And then you have your assignments, and so these are where all your assignments are located. So you have 1.1 interactive assignment, section 1.1, and then so on. Okay? So here are all your assignments, and then here's the interactive e-text. So this is also going to be in the assignment page. But if you want to go back and reference something in the interactive e-text, then you can click each chapter to see what you're looking for. And then you have a Multimedia Library section. So for example, if I want to take a look at, let's say, Chapter 1, I'm going to scroll down here and select Data Collection Chapter 1. And then if I want to select all sections or a particular section, I can. And then I want to select a media type. So the media type says we have an example video or another video. So I'm going to go ahead and select section 1.1. And I'm going to select all. And then I'm going to hit Find Now. And what this does is, this gives me example videos of determining the level of measurement, of a variable, and so on. And then here's video of what you see in your interactive text. So it's sort of a shorter way for you to be able to pull up videos from the interactive text. And then you have a page that says Tools for Success. So Tools for Success, how do you enter in answers? Here's statistics, student help and support, course information, working through orientation questions to learn how to enter answers. And then you have these applets that are used with the student activity workbook, which is the guided notebook. And then you also have these resources. You have mind maps, you have case studies, you have tables and formulas, tables and lines, glossary, StatCrunch, and appendices. And then you have these manuals. So you can download the manual for the TI-83, 84 Plus, and the TI-89. And you also have an Excel manual. And then we also have what we call our Stat Talk videos, and that will be discussed more during the Stat Talk discussion questions. You have data sets. And then here you have StatCrunch. So you can open up data sets using your textbook using StatCrunch. And then you also have StatCrunch video tutorials, which are step-by-step guidance on everything that you're going to see in the class. And you also have StatCrunch technology step-by-step. And then you have statistics technology tutorial videos, so you can view those, which again offer step-by-step guidance with certain technologies. And then you also have technology study cards. So this is your Tools for Success. Now when you want to access StatCrunch, you're going to go ahead and select StatCrunch. So this brings you to the website for StatCrunch. And then you have your study plan, and what the study plan does is that once you go through each chapter, okay, it's going to recognize questions that you may have had errors on. And if you had errors on them, you can always come back before you take your test and then practice on things that you got incorrect as you were moving along in the course. But it's only going to generate the information as you move along each particular section. And then you have accessible resources. You have video transcripts. We have the guided workbook, an activity manual, okay, and then additional accessible information. And then you also have Skills for Success, which more than likely you won't need that in this scenario, but you can reference this information if you'd like. Okay, it talks about, the concept of mindset, meaning that do you have a growth mindset. So this is just to get you sort of, comfortable with the course. It's like, if you feel that you're, if you have a mindset where you always feel like, you may not be able to do well in a class like this, well, this tells you to look at the positives to be able to contain a growth mindset. So again, you can follow along in this particular information. And then you have college success modules. So this is where, you have your college transition. So you have a pre-test college transition, activities, and then you have online learning. So taking a pre-test for online learning, watch the online learning video. So there's a lot of good information in here for you to be able to access as you're moving along. Same thing with, reading to learn. Okay, so pre-test for reading to learn, the activities, watch the video, and then you have stress management, okay, and then also time management. Okay, so there's a lot of good information that you can use for your success in this particular class. So you may want to access that during your own time to be able to fulfill those particular needs for you. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the main menu, and I'm going to go ahead and then select assignments. So now when I select assignments, okay, I'm going to go ahead and select interactive assignment. Now once you complete the interactive assignment with 70% or more, then you're able to then move on to section 1.1 homework. So I'm going to go ahead and select interactive assignment. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and hit continue assignment. Okay, so up here it says introduction. Okay, and it defines the objectives that you're going to see in this class in section 1.1. You have objective 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can move along by selecting these tabs, or over here you can just click to go to the next page. Now if you notice, this represents the same information that was in the guided notebook. So here is your objectives for section 1.1. And now recall, it says here to select objective number 1 on page 1. Okay, so if I do that by pulling this up, I'm going to go ahead and select objective number 1. And then the following video is a following description of the video, and it talks about the author discussing the nature of statistics. So when you click on that, the author is going to begin.
So to begin with, we want to define what statistics is, and we also want to discuss what it means to think statistically.
So, as you can see, the author begins to discuss as if you were in a class with the lecture, and you can see how many minutes this is for that particular video. Now I'm going to scroll a little further here, okay?
So I say,
okay.
That essentially is not,
And so the reason why I'm scrolling a little further is because I want you to see what happens. They give you the first definition of statistics, and there it is. And so as you can see this definition, over here, number 1, it says write the definition of statistics below. So what this does is this allows you to take notes as you're moving along with the course. And then you would then move on to number 2, where it says data describes, you can fill in the blank, and so on. Okay, now you can make this video better if you select those options where it says enter full screen. You can also click on the closed captioning. Okay, but again, as you can see here, you're going to move along. So you're going to go to, once you finish that, so you're going to go to the next page. And then after that, okay, you're going to have this question. So the first question says 1.1 RA1. And so here you're going to answer this question, and you can have question help. Some of the question help may have questions for you to have video help, or it may just have StatCrunch tech help and calculator. So you can answer these questions, and this is where you're going to want to get the 70% score as you proceed on. So now that you've finished this question, once you answer the question, you're going to move along, and now it's going to go to objective number 2. So now in objective number 2 down here, it's saying click the video, and then you're going to answer the questions again. So it says, what is the entire group to be studied called? And that's going to be the question. The answer to that question is going to be in the video. So what it does is, it's going to give you a really good detailed way of being able to use, your guided notes for notes as you move along, so that when you get to your quizzes and your exams, you're going to have this information available to you. Now, if you keep selecting over, again, you're going to have these questions that are going to be given to you that you want to answer. Okay, and as you keep moving along to when you finish objective number 5. Now, I want you to pay attention to some of these questions. Now, some of these interactive questions may also be in your Canvas. And what I mean by that is, if I come here to Canvas and go to Modules, okay, and I'm going to go back to week number 1, okay, you have these Homework 1.1 videos. So what this does is I've put in some practice videos for some questions that you may see in an interactive assignment or in your homework assignment. And so these are basically videos of the questions that you're going to see in your homework. They're not going to be the exact same numbers and questions, but they're going to be very similar to help you when you're going through your homework. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this interactive assignment, and I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to close as if I finished it. Okay, now once you finish that interactive assignment, then it's going to determine to make sure that you have 70% or above. So if I look at the score here, I don't have 70% yet. So I'm not able to access section 1.1 homework. Okay, so it says before you can work on any remaining attempts on this assignment, you must do the following. You must receive a score of 70% or more on 1.1 interactive assignment. So you got to make sure you complete those. So it's really important to stay on top of the material and don't wait until the assignment is due. Okay, all the assignments are due the day of the exam, but you do not want to wait up until that point. Okay, now I also want to point out that when you look at the top part here, it says you have a late submission penalty. So for all interactive assignments, homework assignments, and quizzes, okay, there is a 5% deducted from the final score. So each day that you are late, it's going to be an additional 5%. And again, that's only for homework, quizzes, and the interactive assignments. And that concludes this video.